Today's topic is on Archimedes principle and flotation. Firstly, student, we will understand what is Archimedes principle. It is related with fluid or water. When any object is immersed in fluid, it experiences an upward force that is equal to the weight of the fluid. So students, to understand this, we need to know what is buoyancy. Okay, so that is the upward force move against the weight of the object. So here you can see the objects experiences buoyant force, and that property is called buoyancy. Okay, now here three laws of flotations are present here. Okay, so the firstly is the floating body. Okay, and then second is the body sinks, and third is the body remains in equilibrium. In floating body, the buoyant force is more than the weight of the object. In secondly, when the body sinks means this weight of the object is more than the buoyant force. Okay, and in the third one is the body remains in equilibrium. That means the apparent weight is zero. The buoyant force, okay, and the weight remains equal. So you can see here the three diagrams for the flotation. Okay, this also, the arrow marks also describe you the directions of the forces on both the sides. Okay students, now students, we are in a state to prove the Archimedes principle. Okay, so see here student, first what we will do, the diagrams are given in the next slides. We will see that one. First here what we will do students, we will take an Eureka can and we will feel to the spout, and we will use one hook for the spring balance, and we will weight the stone in the air and let that weight of the that stone, when we will measure it with the spring balance, let the weight be W1. Okay, now we will immerse that stone inside the water. Okay, and we will collect the overflowing water in a beaker. Now we will again do the reading in the spring balance and let that weight be W2. Okay, and this weight W2 will be less than W1 due to the upthrust provided by water. Apparent loss in weight due to the upthrust will be W1 minus W2. So now students, we are in a state to measure the weight of the water collected in the beaker, okay, which is being displaced by the stone. So now comparing this weight, we will find that the loss in weight, what is the loss in weight? The aim of this experiment is to find out the loss in weight. The loss in weight is W1 minus W2, which is equal to the loss of the weight in water. This is what Archimedes, is a scientist, has been proved, okay, with his statement that if you immerse any object in a water, that weight of that object that is occupying in the water is equals to the weight of the water displaced by it. Correct? Okay, now you can see here the diagram of that whatever the experiment we have done with that stone and the spring balance is being shown here. Okay, now students, we are in a state to prove the relative density. Now as we all know, what is density, right? Mass by volume. Now when we use the word relative means comparing. Okay, so what we compare, the density of a substance with the density of water. So here you are present with the difference between relative density and density. Okay, so here students, what is the basic difference is that density unit is kg per meter cube or gram per centimeter cube, whereas relative density is a ratio. That's why it has no unit. Fine. So here it presents you with the differences. Okay, and its all values remain same. Okay, whereas density's value is different for the different system of measurement. Fine. And density is a parameter. Okay, that is mass per unit volume. Relative density is a complete ratio. Fine students, so here in relative density students, means generally we do for the case of when the water is at temperature of 4 degrees Celsius, right? So now see student, we will also try to know the expressions of relative density in case of the weight of the objects. Okay, that is m by m minus m1. Okay, or the mass of the substance by mass of the equal volume of the water, that is m1 minus m0 divided by m2 minus m0. Fine. So these are all the properties related to the relative density. Now students, the most important part of this chapter is the application of Archimedes principle. Fine. So in this Archimedes principle, or the applications of flotation, we can say is that what? are the ship, submarines, balloons, airships, iceberg, ice water are some of the field or the sectors we can say where its applications can be seen. Fine. The most important part that I want to discuss with you is the ship. Okay. Now, students, the question may be arising in your mind. Okay, you may have seen the ship, okay, anywhere. Okay, so why that a big ship, okay, of a large volume, why don't it float? Okay, why don't it why doesn't it sink inside the water? Why does it float? Why it happens so? Okay, so this is a very important phenomena of flotation. What happens, student? A floating ship displaces a certain amount of weight of water which is equal to the weight including that of the cargo. Cargo means what, student? Where the place where the like some products or some like all the goods are being stored there. Okay, when it is being, suppose things are going from one place to another place, okay, some products are going or some items are going, okay, not the passengers, okay, not the peoples, okay, so that is the cargo. So the volume of the ship is very large as compared to the volume of the material which is made up of. So there are some empty spaces in the ship which contain air, therefore its average density is less than the density of water. So this is the reason why a ship floats with a small section under the water. Okay, students, now here you can also see the picture presents you that certain portion of the ship is sink inside and the majority of the portion float in the water. Okay, students, so in the same way we have that airships, balloons, submarines,